owe any federal tax, like local tax?
No, I've been keeping up with my taxes. I did have one extension recently, and I am paying that off right now.
Okay. So for this question, before you go to the interview, we recommend you to pay all the overdue taxes. Clear. You want to make sure that you pay all the taxes.
Or at least the proof that you are doing something about it, like you're doing a monthly payment to the IRS, that you're trying to pay off your taxes, if there's any.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever not filed a federal tax, state or local tax return since you became a local permanent resident?
Actually, when I was a student, I didn't work, so I didn't. And I think they told me that I didn't have to because I was a student, I wasn't working.
So for this question, the question can be also yes, because sometimes if you don't make any money, right, and then if you're not statutorily required to pay, then the answer is yes, because you are not required to pay, right? And then if the answer is yes, did you consider yourself to be non-US resident?
Yeah, that's a tricky question because non-resident sounds like, yeah, I'm non-resident. It's not. That's not what they mean by non-resident. It's people like a foreign student coming into the United States to study, or people who never intend to live in the United States as a resident, right? They are considered non-resident, and they have a different category when they file their taxes. So you're not a non-resident; you're a resident. Your permanent resident card said you are a permanent resident. Doesn't say non-resident. So don't get confused with that word non-resident.
Okay, have you ever been a member of or involved in any way associated with any organization, association, foundation, party, club, society?
No, I'm not. No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of, in any way, associated with the Communist Party?
Communist Party? No.
Okay. Totalitarian Party?
Totalitarian? No, sir.
What about terrorist organization?
No, sir, I'm not a terrorist.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to overthrow the government?
Yeah.
No, sir, I have not tried.
Don't worry, American citizens get asked that question too. Like that's on questions too. So
I don't think I was even born during the Nazi.
I'm surprised the Communist Party is still out there though. That's
still up there.
Okay, have you ever involved in any way in following genocide, torture?
No, sir. No genocide, no torture. I haven't
So,
tortured anyone.
especially on this page, a lot of questions. Genocide, killing, hurting, trying to force someone to have any kind of sexual contact, or prostitution, or anything like that. Smuggling, like drug dealing, illegal drugs, controlled substances.
Everything is no. Like, have you ever, help somebody come to the United States illegally, right? It's no. No.
Okay, the question 15, were you ever a member or did you ever serve in a help or otherwise participate in any of the following groups? Military unit? Sometimes, if you're from the country where the military service is required or mandatory, the answer is yes. For example, Korea,
Israel.
Israel, most countries, So if you never served in the army or armed forces, the answer should be no for this question.
No, officer. I haven't served any.
Right. Were you ever a worker, volunteer, soldier, or did you otherwise ever serve in any of the following: prison or jail?
No, sir.
Camp?
I never worked in a prison or in a jail.
Detention facility?
No detention center.
Labor camp?
No, sir.
Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group or unit or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatening to do so?
No, sir.
But you could have been a member of your previous country's military or something, and you could have actually done that, put down riots or something, or maybe your country required you to do something that wouldn't be allowed in the United States.
Yeah, and then if you say yes, and then the officer will ask you some detailed questions. What kind of duty was it? What was your rank? Or, right? Like, a little bit in detail.
Right.
They just want to make a note, what you did. And then, did you ever receive any type of military, like weapons training?
No.
Okay. Did you ever recruit, enlist, or use any person under 15 years old age to serve in or help in armed forces or group?
No.
So most of the questions, you know, if you're eligible or if you're willing to get the citizenship, the answers are no in these questions. Okay? Or have you ever been in jail or prison?
No.
Okay. So in this question, it also has a section that if you actually been to the jail, they ask you to like how many times or how many years, days. Because some people serve in jail, you know, for DUI, like 2 days, 3 days, something like that. So let's see. So if you answered yes to any questions in item number 22 to 28, like please fill out this section, like why were you arrested, cited, detained, or charged? So if you were detained or even arrested, right? Even if you didn't serve the jail time, if you were just, you know, arrested, also, you know, you need to put, you know, why and when and how long, you know.
Now, before, they only required to bring your conviction, final disposition of your conviction, right? Criminal part of it, right? But recently, most of the officers also want to see your traffic record as well, especially the reckless driving in Virginia.
That's why you're a resident of the United States, not in your former country. Right?
Not in the former country. So while you are in the U.S. as a resident, permanent resident, you want to make sure that you don't have any problem. So what we recommend is if you do have a traffic ticket or you know, just bring the final disposition that you pay the fine or you went through, you know, the ASAP, you know, the driving course or something like that. But especially the reckless driving, if you did convicted of traffic, you know, conviction for reckless driving, you do want to bring that and let them know that that is considered misdemeanor in Virginia. So you might want to bring that too. So even traffic ticket, you know, depending on, you know, the circumstances, you might want to bring that certified copy as well, right?
Okay, let's see. And then the next page, there's a question about the selective service, but for the women, it's not applied. But for the men who are in the United States from like their age from 18 to 26, they're required to register as a selective service.
Yeah, and one of the odd thing about selective service is if you are in the United States as a non-resident, so if you have a legal status as a non-resident, then you're not really required to, you know, register. But if you came in, if you walked in without inspection, so you're out of status, or you came in without any papers, but you're within that age range, you have to register for selective service. Isn't it weird? Because, you know, you would think that you don't have to file it. But you
And
do.
selective service, because I don't know, do you guys know what selective service is? It's the draft, right?
It's the draft.
So if
Military.
so if military, women are exempt, but if men, if there's a war and we do not have enough soldiers to fill up ranks or whatever, then they start drawing lottery numbers basically, and those men have to go serve. We did it for Vietnam War.
Right.
Would be the most recent one that I think. I don't think we did it for Korean or anything like that.
70s Norway.
Yeah.
For a woman, they don't need to.
You
Nope.
don't need to worry about it, but in case
Women
you
are
do-
not-
Yeah.
We haven't got that equal right yet, I guess. I don't
They're
know.
talking about it.
Yeah, I mean.
So, you know.
Okay, so there's a question about selective service. And then, let's see. And then here's the important part. Do you support the Constitution and government of U.S.?
Yes, sir. That's yes.
You can say yes.
Yes, I will support the Constitution. Yes.
And do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes, I do.
So those are the questions. It must be yes, yes, yes. Are you going to follow the laws of U.S. or something like that? Okay. And then let's see. They just confirm your signature at the applicant signature page. And then at the end, on page 19, they ask you to sign at the interview, right, before the officer. If all the information here is correct, you know, go ahead and sign it here. You sign it. And then behind it, right, they also ask you to sign for the oath of allegiance. So it's contingent. So I mean, if you, let's say if your application we approve, you hereby, by signing this application, that you certify that you have no problem with, just saying it out of allergens or anything like that, okay? So, then after the interview, like sometimes officers just tell you that, okay, we'll likely, we would like to approve your application on spot, but it rarely happens. But what they normally say is, we're going to review it, and then we'll tell you in like 2 weeks. That's a positive sign, right?
Yeah.
If I tell you.
Yeah, don't be discouraged if the officer said, well, I have to ask my supervisor for another review, because that's what they do. They want to make sure that one person review the whole thing, and then someone else will do another review, just to make sure that everything in there is correct. So it's more like a peer review. So don't be discouraged if they said we have to, let you know within a week or 2. That's usually what they say.
Will they get? And then if you're approved, do they give you a letter? Like, I mean, do they send you a letter? Do they call you?
So they will give you a sheet of paper, checking off, yes, congratulate you passed your civic test exam, and then we are going to give you a decision within 90 days or 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you there are 2 parts,
Mhm.
test and the interview.
Yeah.
Right?
So passing the test and then interview. Some officers will say, you know what, I'm gonna recommend your application for an approval, and that's a good sign. But still, your application must be reviewed by someone else. And one thing that we would like to emphasize is that when they will look at your previous submitted application as well. So they want to know how you became a green card holder. Not only that, they want to know how you came to the United States. So everything from the beginning up to now, they would like to review. Make sure that everything is consistent, right? And oftentimes people get in trouble because one thing that you put it in the beginning and what's in now is inconsistent. Sometimes, I don't know why, but they don't put their kids when they're coming into the United States, thinking that, I might have a better chance if I just put my name only. So they come in without putting their kids back home, and then while they become a green card holder, wanting to, become a citizen, now all of a sudden they put their kids in back home, right? And it's inconsistent. That's where the problem is. So make sure that what you put in your application is consistent from what you had in your application from the beginning. Okay.
As I told you, this is the last chance for the government to catch misrepresentation, fraud, or anything like that. So once you become a citizen, it's very hard to revoke it. So just if you think in that line, then that's why he said everything needs to be consistent.
You have any questions? Because that's basically what they will do during the interview.
This is the test.
Yeah, this is a test. Basically, the officer will be asking you questions about you, and you have to give them answers to the application. That's why, like Min said, it's very important that you review what you wrote, what you put it in. You need
Make
to what you
copies of
said.
everything.
Exactly.
Know
Right.
your application. Any tips or tricks for the tests? We know it's 6 to 10 questions when you have some writing and talking, but anything go wrong you see?
So sometimes they get really nervous, so they forget to ask them like, can you repeat this, or I wasn't sure what that was. Can you repeat that? You have plenty. There's no time limit for this test, so you're not on clock. So you make sure you ask the officer, hey, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. Can you please tell me what you said again slowly, so that and they will tell you. I had a case where this client really wanted to do well, but he failed. So the officer felt really bad because he really tried. So he said, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. So he took out the really basic questions and gave him another chance. So that's, so it's all, depends on the officer.
I would hope like the officers aren't trying. I go in there with the theory that they're not trying to trip you up, right? They're not trying.
No.
They're just doing their job, and they understand that you're nervous. You're obviously, hopefully, not the first person that they've seen walk through the door.
Their job is not to fail you, or they're not the enforcing division. You know, they're not there to put you in jail like officers or detective, or
Mhm.
they're not for that. They're there to adjudicate, to process the application, right? And so they want to make sure that everything's correct, make sure that you are, you are qualified and eligible to become a citizen, right? Because becoming a citizen is a big deal. It's a privilege, right? And not everyone is meant to be a citizen. So it's only people who qualify, right? With their time, wanting to contribute to the society, right?
And I need to pay for filling out this application.
So this is free. The form is free to fill out, right? But there is an application fee, which is how much it is right now? $680.
That's about, yeah.
It's $680 payable to Department of Homeland Security, but there is a waiver form. So let's say that you don't have a job, you're economically you're below the poverty line, and then you could actually try to file a waiver, so that you don't have to pay the fee, and they waive the fee until they could take the test. Yeah. So there is a waiver, and then you could apply.
When I fill out the application, I send, and then I wait how many days?
Usually within 30 days, you'll get your receipt saying, hey, Glenda, right? Glenda, this is your receipt. Keep it, and then we'll let you know, right? They will give you a receipt with the receipt number, right? And then after that, about 30 to 40 days, you'll get your fingerprint notice, because they want to make sure they can check your background again. So you go there and you do your fingerprint again, right? After that, about 6 to 7 months after that, they will give you a interview notice. Say you come on this particular day for an interview.
So the average, we can say 6 to 7 months from the beginning. Yeah.
Now don't forget, if you submit this application, I recommend that you not only you send this application with you, but all the copies of your passport, copies of your permanent resident, all the things that they ask, chronologically, right? They ask you, your name, your date of birth. So you put the birth certificate, right? And then when did you get your green card? Put the green card.
And for women, like another name that you would be known as is
Sure.
your maiden name.
Right.
So like Sarah Smebby is my married name, and I had to actually go through the government
Sure.
security clearance
Right,
thing.
right.
And so then I had to put Sarah Hightower, which is my maiden name. So before I got married, that was my name.
Right.
So when I thought of that, I automatically thought of women, saying, this is my name before I got married.
Right. So it's a good idea to put, like the part where have you ever used another name before? Yeah, you need to put your maiden name as well. Okay.
So if you're attaching documents, is that to say that the final application is a paper-based system?
Yes.
Okay.
Paper-based. So basically,
You can never have too much paper when you're doing this.
Yeah.
Just send all of it.
Yeah. So send this, and then back up this application. What they ask, birth certificate, because they ask for your date of birth, your permanent resident card, right? Your social security card, I would recommend you make a copy and send it. And also they ask you about your your marriage, right? So marriage certificate, that states your husband, right? And your children's birth certificate, because they ask about your children, right? And also passport stamps, because they ask you how many times you've been going back and forth. So basically what you could back it up, what they ask, you put it in, right? And that's a very simple way.
Any any documents.
Any document they ask, right? If you have a conviction, you put it in. If you don't have to worry about
If
it.
you divorced, put a filer,
Yeah, if you had a divorce before, then you put the divorce decree, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you can't find any more documents, you can go there and explain.
Send it as it wants to file the fee.
Okay, and also two passport photos you need to attach.
Passport size photos.
Yeah, so go to CVS, Kinko's, ask them
UPS,
for-
they'll take your
yeah,
photos.
two passport photos.
There's instructions on the website, so you can just look at it and then see what else they have.
This application is in the website?
Yeah, this is on the website uscis.gov.
We'll be going over all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes if you type in wrong letter or two, you will go into something that's not a official USCIS website.
Make sure it's .gov, right? Is it
Yeah.
.gov?
And I had people actually, true story, I had people actually pay
The forms.
to
Oh,
download
no.
forms. I said, wait a minute, you pay for your forms? It's
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband paid
Your husband paid?
300.
Yeah, no,
So it's
no.
not, those are all scams,
Yeah,
right?
it
But
is.
so it's unfortunate, but that's how they make money or take advantage of people because they don't know.
Capitalism in America.
Exactly.
It's bad, but
Yeah.
you know.
Criminals in there.
And make sure if you are going to, get help filling out the paper, make sure that these people are certified, qualified, people who could help you.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to hire an attorney to do it. All right, attorneys are there only when there is a legal issue. We're not here to fill out the forms. Yeah, that's not our job, right? Although once in a while we do
Pay a
help.
lot of money to fill out forms.
That's not what we do. But if you do have a legal issue, you don't, you're like notarial. People go to notarial to fill out the forms, and sometimes they just put whatever. No good, because once you sign the form, it means that you signed it, you reviewed it. You have to make sure you don't do
We've
that.
seen sometimes that notarials, they sign on behalf of you.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So make sure you need to own it. You need to know exactly what's in there because it's your application, right? And it has consequences if you do it wrong. I mean I've seen that firsthand. So make sure you do it right. Right? Okay, that's it.
Yeah, we'll write the
We're gonna-
website
we're
down,
gonna
yeah.
be Going through all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm
Why
glad.
you're here.
I'm glad.
6 weeks.
Yeah, I was excited to hear from you. The last time people who we did it together, they all passed, right? So it's awesome. That's
So 100% pass rate
Yeah,
in this
100%.
class, guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.